It's been a while.
So where were we? Oh yeah, Black Christmas.
Yeah. Which one is the last one?
I don't know. I remember Space Jam.
It could have been Space Jam.
Maybe, I'm not
one of
sure.
the faith-based movies.
Well, it's so funny because you were telling me, my fatigue's getting better, so I can do these again.
Yeah.
And I'm the exact opposite. Mine, I can do these easier when I'm on the fatigue. When I have to edit something and put in clips and stuff like that, that's more difficult.
Then I'm
for
good.
me. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Like, we both got it, but but we have like two different kinds.
I
It's so
felt
funny.
okay to start doing it again. You know what it was? I started going to the gym again.
And a lot of stuff in terms of health. At least definitely for me, I guess for a lot of people that have it, that definitely plays a big factor. You do anything with your diet too, or no?
Yeah, cutting out
a lot of stuff. Yeah,
cutting out quite a bit of sugar. I still don't have the best diet.
I didn't see this. Oh god, there's no Stitch head one or something.
Oh,
like
there
that?
is. It did come with a little Stitch doll.
Oh, okay, that's a little. He's got a little mohawk there too. Look at that. Okay, that'll be a good thumbnail right there.
I miss this about these episodes where it's like
just talking about nothing for a little bit first.
Shit, I'll show it to you later.
I'm sure people can have a little thing that says actual review starts here.
Yeah, so I was messing around with thumbnails and made like a Lilo and Stitch one earlier with me on Stitch and you. It just looks like you behind the wheel of the car, and it looked horrifying.
Don't they always look horrifying?
This one especially.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, you as Stitch. Yeah, that does sound kind of. At least you didn't have me as Lilo.
It's you over the sister. At the very end of the video, I'll pop it up and then show it.
Okay,
it's pretty funny. I hadn't seen the first one since it came out.
I was going to say, I think that's going to be certainly a factor for most people about what they think of this movie, I think.
But I did watch it earlier.
Okay, so you watched it before
I did.
check this one out.
Yeah, during Jack's nap. I finished the 1985 video yesterday, so I was like, I got time. Jack was napping.
I'm pretty sure it's a short movie. Most animated Disney films are.
When you take out the credits, it's about 79 minutes.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
I could have watched it twice before Jack got up. Or the sequel, which I've never seen the sequels to it.
It's not. Two of them are like based on the show.
Oh, okay.
The show's actually very cute.
Yeah.
I had to watch it for Disney December, and then the actual Lilo and Stitch 2. It's hard to say it's bad. It's hard to say it's good.
Yeah.
It's like it's better than the other direct-to-DVD movies, but I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say it's good. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's not bad.
Did you like the first movie?
I loved everything with the sisters. I thought that was wonderfully done, and everything with the aliens was all right. You know, it's a cute kids film, whatever. But I thought the stuff with I just said in the review I just did, if you took out the stuff with the aliens, it would still be a great movie. Like the Lilo and Sisters stuff would be really good. If you took out the sisters and just had an alien movie, it'd be passable, I think. Like, aliens aren't bad, you know, or anything. They're just very, Stitch is kind of a little shit, you know. He is made to be a little super weapon and stuff like that, and he is hostile and violent and stuff like that, so he isn't just a cute little animal. He actually is, kind of a dangerous thing that has to be taught and everything, so, but the sisters, I think, is the core of the story, and that's... I feel like if you took out that, the film wouldn't be nearly as memorable or loved by a lot of people, I think.
I did enjoy it. I remember, I saw the first one when it came out. I hadn't seen it. And it wasn't because I didn't like it. I do remember liking it. I just never rewatched it. And I did have a good time with it earlier. But you are right in that is true. Like, if it was just the aliens, I probably would have been sitting there watching it going like, well, I kind of would rather watch Day the Earth Blew Up again, you know what I mean, or something like that. So going into this one, when I watched it earlier, I was like, this is either like a good idea or a mistake, watching it back to back, depending on how this new one played out. So was this also YouTube reviewer Christmas like Snow White was?
Not quite that bad. Honestly, compared to the other remakes, it's not the worst, but I didn't think it was good.
I actually did like it.
You did like it? Okay.
I did. And I didn't know how you were going to feel about it. It wasn't like, I wasn't sitting there going like, I'm actually enjoying this, but man, Doug's going to hate it. You know, I will tell you who will like this movie better. The guy I saw the first movie with. You might have met him. His name's Buford. He's been in some of my movies before. We went to go see it. He hated the first one.
Yeah.
And one of his reasoning, it might have been his main reason, I can't remember, but he was like, this is so they're clearly aliens. No one knows they're aliens.
Well, okay, he'll like the reasoning behind this one.
I know. So
where the aliens are human most of the time.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought did make sense, honestly.
It did, and as much as I didn't have that same opinion as him on the first movie, I was like, if they did that same thing in this one, I would probably say what he said.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't make sense in this universe. I mean, honestly, in this universe, it's hard to believe they would even consider Stitch a dog. But again, but they do bring up that's a dog.
Yeah.
So it's like, and they do it in the original too. So it's like, okay, but again, the logic certainly in the original was light, and I think even to this film's credit, it tries to add a little bit more logic, which sometimes I go, I don't know if that always makes sense, but it's still pretty light. I mean, who's gonna say, well, I thought who was gonna say, the, logical side of Lilo and Stitch doesn't make sense, but then again, your friend did, so maybe there are people, I don't know.
He'll love this one. I know, when that first happened, when they turned human, for a second, I was like, well, that saved you on budget, didn't it? Mm-hmm. But I was like, you know what? It actually does make sense they do it like this. And with the two actors, Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnussen, when it was them as the aliens at the beginning of it, Billy Magnussen, when it was his voice at the alien, I thought he was fine. With Zach Galifianakis, in the original, David Ogden Stiers is so good.
Yeah, I mean, he's good at any voice
anything.
He does, yeah.
And he becomes whatever he's voicing or when he's acting live action as well. Fantastic actor. With Galifianakis, it was, I'm hearing Zach Galifianakis, but I did like him when he turned human. I was enjoying his performance more. Opposite Billy Magnussen, who was kind of annoying me.
I surprisingly liked them both. I was shocked I was buying him okay, Zach Galifianakis as the alien. Because you're right, that doesn't match that design. But just his take was believable enough. Like, if you just hear that voice and be like, I'm an egotistical supervillain and everything, I'd be like, yeah, okay, but yes, admittedly, it does work better when he's human, when you see the actual voice that goes with it. And I was actually impressed how much, what's the name of the other guy?
Billy Magnussen.
I was impressed, again, maybe because now I died to see the movies, but I saw the show, so I've seen a lot of these characters.
Oh, okay.
And having seen that one-eyed thing run around all over the place on all these episodes and stuff like that, I'm like, he captured this character pretty well. Yeah. So both of them had moments that I don't blame them. Anything that doesn't work in this movie, I do not blame the actors, because the actors are good.
They are.
They're very, very good, which is very refreshing to see.
Yeah.
Actually, that almost looked a little better.
It's the first time that's happened. Not the first time that's gone out, but that happens a lot now that I remember. First time where it actually made it look better. Oh, yeah, Laura's future car.
But, no, but there are jokes that do not get a laugh out of them, or especially the bad ADR in this. I am so sick of that in big budget movies. And so here's the two big things that really annoy me about this movie. There is one thing, even though I don't think this is as bad as other live action remakes, there is one thing that I said, this is the worst out of all the live action remakes, and that is the editing. I hated the editing in this, because again, in the original, which again, is hand animated, and probably for kids first, you would think the editing would be a lot faster and sillier and goofy and stuff like that, but when the moments have to be emotional, they just leave the camera still, they just leave it on the characters, and the editing in this got so obnoxious that it got to a point where during one of the big emotional moments where they're on like the hammock and they're singing to each other and stuff like that, instead of getting to the emotion like it did in the original, I started counting how many seconds there were in between edits, and it averaged out to 3 seconds in an edit, and that was pissing me off.
Interesting. Yeah.
That really, really got in the way for me. And to me, this felt like the editing of like the Spider-Man villain movie, the Sony movies, where there was an edit every 3 seconds, and half the lines people are either turned away like this, so they can ADR them, or someone saying an emotional line when they're not even on camera. And this is supposed to be an emotional movie. It's supposed to be funny. It's supposed to be light. But when the emotional moments happen, you're supposed to really feel them. And I think you got these performances that can deliver on them. But they're not allowing us to see them.
Mm-hmm. It's funny you mentioned the sound and the ADR and everything, because there was a problem with our screening where the sound effects, the musical score, and all of that sounded fine. The audio from the actors, there was something up with the projector where... Why
does that happen sometimes? That happens with me in some movies, too, where it's like, I'll be, what they say? And I'm like, I know this isn't the movie. you know?
I went to go see it, the one over near you, and I hadn't been to that theater in a while, so maybe that does happen a lot over there, but it was... The actors' audio sounded like audio from a speakerphone, and that's what problem with the projector. Like, I hope so, but yeah,
no, because I saw it at the same one. It sounded fine.
So I didn't. Some of the ADR in it that you're talking about, I didn't notice, except when there was a lot of shots of Courtney B. Vance with a phone over his, and when he's kind of turned away in the car, I was thinking like, even though I can't tell because of the speakers, I'm like, that's got to be an ADR shot right there. But what did sell me on this movie was the acting.
Yeah.
The act. Billy Magnuson, I didn't much get into him.
They handled him a lot better in the anime. Well, even the reveal of the name, the way they revealed the name in the original was pretty funny. It's this big, tough-looking... Well, first of all, he's a social worker. That's very funny.
Yeah.
And then, Mr. Bubbles, he goes, Bubbles. That's an... Oh. Yeah, I know. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. And then you see on his, hand, it says Cobra.
Yeah.
So, and then someone actually calls it, Cobra Bubbles. It's like, oh, that's his actual... that's funny. And then it's revealed he's an FBI agent or former FBI. It just keeps building upon itself. In this one, he's already an FBI agent. And someone just says, Cobra Bubbles, we have to go blah, blah, blah. And you just ruined the whole joke.
I agree with that. I did like the addition of Tia Carrere as the other social worker.
Yes, though it was surreal seeing Nani talk to Nani.
Yeah. I liked that. I liked her in the movie. I liked some of the other characters that they added to it. I thought... What I did like about it was, unlike a lot of these movies, I thought this still did have some genuine heart to it in a lot of scenes versus feeling very soulless like a lot of these that...
Definitely, yeah. And again, I think that does come from the act, probably the directing too, because this guy did, was it Marcel the Shell with Shoes or whatever?
Yeah, that was good.
And okay, compare the editing in that to that. I mean, completely different movies. And that's why it's something where it's like, I don't think it's the director's fault. This feels like a committee, a Disney thing. No, you gotta chop it up. No, you gotta... Because that guy probably had much slower... longer scenes in here, but Disney, for whatever reason, had them chop it down.
Watching them back to back, I liked that it plays along the same way that the other one does, except there are a lot of different things that they do add to the scenes, and
all of those I don't mind. Like the neighbor, I thought was well played by Amy Hill. Though I mentioned this in my review too. If they're trying to be much more logical about this, why doesn't the neighbor watch the kid all the time? She keeps bringing her the jobs, and she keeps ruining the jobs. And it's like the neighbor's literally like, why don't you just look after her?
I kind of thought that in the original too, even though the neighbor wasn't in it. In that montage in the original, I was even kind of thinking, can someone watch the kid while you're going to all of these job interviews?
But again, I think that's because they don't give you a time frame for when the parents die. And hell, in this film, they don't even say how they die. If they die, they're just not there.
Yeah.
But you get the idea. It was kind of close, and she's suddenly thrown in this world where she not only are her folks dead, she now has to, be on her own, and she has to look after this kid. She suddenly has to be a mother to her sister. And I'm sure you're going to testify, suddenly a lot of your time disappears when you have a kid. So it's one of those things where if it was like years later, I'd be like, well, wait a minute. But it feels like it was pretty recent in the movie, like when that happened. So it's one of those things where it's like, I kind of see why she would not have connections necessarily with people, yet at that time. But here, there's literally this neighbor coming by saying, hey, go to the school. I'll watch the kid. I mean, I'm like, yeah, why doesn't she?
I would just do it during Jack's naps. He'll be fine. The cats are there. But whenever there was like, there would be a setup to a joke that was from the other one. And sometimes when that would start happening early on, I would think like, oh, okay, we're doing this. They'll be kind of doing the same jokes and whatnot. But what I did like here was like the setups to the jokes would be the same or similar, but the punchline would be different, or it would play out differently. It would catch me off guard with that. It would still get a laugh out of me. Even a lot of individual scenes were like that, where it was like, this is the equivalent of something that happened in the other one, but they are kind of playing out differently. And I know that it is sort of like, what's the word for it? Where I liked this movie, and I'm comparing it in my head to how much the other ones have gone wrong. It is kind of like these Disney remakes.
Trading it out of curve.
Yeah, as I was watching it, I was thinking, would I still like this movie one way or the other, regardless if the other one didn't even exist? And I probably would, because I thought that there was still genuine heart to it. Again, unlike a lot of these that we've seen, it is... This is a genre movie that is kind of like reviewing a faith-based movie after a while, where even like, because I didn't like Snow White either, but I wasn't mad at it because I'm just so used to this stupid genre now.
Yeah.
It is kind of like when... Yeah, I'll see like a faith-based movie or something like that and be like, well, this is fine because Disciples in the Moonlight sucked. But I did, that being said, I still did get caught up in it. And I do credit the actors for that.
Yeah.
And they would throw in another punchline that wasn't from the other one. I would still get a laugh. It's definitely not a great movie or anything like that.
It's one of those where I also think to myself, if I did not see the original, which again, the movie's kind of banking on you seeing the original when they don't even say how the parents die.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, if this was presented to me, I never saw the original animated one, would I like it? I'd probably be like, maybe just on just an okay kind of waste of time, and even then, I wouldn't quite know. I'd have to kind of think it over. But because there is the animated one where almost everything in it, I'm like, well, I remember that scene being done better in the anime. I remember being done there, but I remember being done there. Yeah, it is hard for me not to think back to it. And something I brought up, again, if you've seen my review already or whatever, just sorry, someone's repeating. But Lilo in the original is a legit troubled kid. She is legit depressed, and the light has gone out in her life. But she doesn't know how to deal with her grief. She sometimes doesn't have anybody to talk to because her sisters always went. They're both thrown into this difficult situation. I love in the original, I think one of the kids just says, after the hula thing, and just goes, "You're crazy," and she just jumps on the kid, starts hitting her. I mean, like a real Lilith. Sorry, I want to dance away. I mean, you really believe this kid. And in this one, the bully like kind of trips her, and then she pushes her over, and that's kind of it. And I'm thinking like, well, that whatever. Most people be like, well, that kid has it coming, whatever. Or somebody even pointed to, hey, didn't you see that kid trip the other one? Where in the original, just somebody saying, you're crazy. Yeah, it's a jerky thing, but you don't jump on a kid and hit their head like that. When you see the drawings of her, pointing, saying alone and stuff like that, that makes sense more in the original. And in this one, I mean, again, and I like the actress. I'm glad she worked in this, because that was my biggest fear, is that the sisters weren't going to work. But I was thinking to myself, she's more quirky or eccentric. Like, I don't really see her sad that much. I don't really see her coping much with, missing her folks. I just remember so many legit believable sad moments in the original that still felt like how a little kid would process all that when they're fighting after the social worker leaves. Yeah, she's doing the silly things like licking her arm and stuff like that. But like when the sister's saying, "This is serious. Do you know about it? Do you know?" Like, she's looking away, but she's kind of tearing up, but she's still kind of fighting. I mean, like a real kid does. Yeah. And most of those scenes are played up for comedy here.
Yeah.
There's a line where in the original, and again, this comes from, I have seen it several times because, yes, I like the movie. My wife really likes the movie.
Yeah.
So I have seen, especially those scenes a lot. And there's a moment where in the original, they're really having a real talk after they have a fight. And they're talking, we're broken, aren't we? It's like, no, well, maybe a little and stuff. And as they're talking, she has the line, "I like you better as a sister than I do as a mother." And it was just kind of it's not like a mean line. It's just an honest line. It really sticks with you. And there's so many other lines like that. And in this one, when they have the talk, they mostly just tell jokes, and she tickles her and stuff, and then she says it's time for bed, and she's like, "I like you better as a sister than I do a mother." And I'm
the sister goes, "Ouch."
Yeah, and it's like, where in the original, it is an ouch moment, but she also understands it, and it's a really good connecting moment. So I feel like because I do have that memory of the original, it's like, and they use these same lines, of course I'm going to think back to the original, how much more effectively it was done there. But again, if I have to be super objective about it, I can see people seeing this movie, liking it fine, and then just forgetting about it, after maybe a week or two.
Yeah.
I don't think I could see anyone, except for your friend, liking it more than the original.
Yeah, that's the thing, where it is overall, I actually did like this. There was enough flaws and all, there was enough about it that still worked for me. But yeah, if I'm going to rewatch one, it's going to be the original one over this. But maybe she was written differently in this one too, because I wonder if...
I bet she wasn't. I bet she was written the same, but they edited those parts out. They might have even said, "This is too heavy, this is too depressing, make it lighter, make it lighter." That would be my guess. And maybe they're even like, "Well, the cartoon's for kids. There's lines out, so the people won't take it seriously." When it's real people, we gotta lighten it up, which again is so ironic.
That's what I think.
Because a lot of people go to this thinking "Oh, well, this is the live action. This is the more adult one, the more logical one, the more blah, blah, blah." And it's usually more dumbed down half the time.
Oh, well, yeah.
They usually take out the actual heavier emotional stuff that, now he sticks with kids, but I think does stick with grown-ups too.
You take this and you put it live action. I mean, it comes across like something pitched in the 90s, where someone's like, "I got it. We do E.T. crossed with Suburban Commando meets Beethoven." I mean, I'd see it.
I'd totally see that movie. I would think it'd be good, but I would totally see it, especially in the 90s.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan better be in it.
You're like, that was my first review. No, I was kind of thinking, I do wonder if they thought how she was exactly in the animated one translated into live action, if they run the risk of the character being unlikable. So maybe she's written quirkier. Maybe she's written not quite as much in the other one. That's kind of what I was chalking it up to. I wasn't thinking too much about that because I was enjoying her performance. If the performance was bad, then it'd be like, well, I'm reviewing live action Dumbo again. Yeah. Which this movie is far superior to. This, I actually thought, again, low bar, I thought this was one of the better ones of the live action.
Well, yeah, remakes. I mean, I'm such a snob on these. I know, talking to the snob, but I don't even know if I can say I technically liked any of them, but there's ones I came close to, and they'd probably be like, and some people say they don't even count. It'd be like Cruella and like Pete's Dragon, where some people say, well, yeah, but those weren't live action. One was already live action, the other was like a spin-off of a character, so it doesn't even count. I'm like, okay, I guess in that case, none of them even come close.
those two I liked.
Yeah, so I mean, and like I said, I'm close on those. There's a lot of stuff I like in those. But so I don't think these are there for me, but they're nowhere near Beauty and the Beast or Lion King or any of them. In terms of the remakes, but some. I was gonna say in the middle, but maybe a little higher above the middle. Again, I think because I have seen this film a lot, and I do really remember those emotional moments really, really working. Yeah. And I think the care that was put into those moments. And maybe that's the thing. What I'm realizing about a lot of these is, as a lot of people find out when they go into animation, if something doesn't work, you can't always edit it out, or you can't always go back and do a ton of reshoots and stuff. I mean, you technically can, but it costs a lot more, and there's just much more to it. You can't just bring an actor back and act it out. You have to record the line, draw it all and stuff. So a lot of times you're just stuck with that. And if it does get really, really edited down, it's even more noticeable. So with something like this where you have B-roll and, different footage you've already shot and stuff like that just already there, it's easier to chop these things down. And maybe that's why sometimes these anime films do feel more emotional, because they had to plan it out. They had to take more care on that. Where if something doesn't work in live action, you can re-edit it however you want. And I think they are, because again, thinking back to how this guy directed the Shell movie with the shoes. I mean, imagine that guy doing a Lilo and Stitch movie with the story, the setup and everything, and Disney never got in the way. I feel like, that would be a different movie, and it'd probably be a better movie.
They did do a good job of, because they had to end up redoing some of Lilo and Stitch. What if in this one, it was the original alternate ending of Lilo and Stitch?
They fly the plane! Time has passed.
It's been over 20 years. There's the city there. The plane is going through.
It's Hawaii. There's no tall buildings.
This would have really sold me on it too. One, if they had the balls to do that, but also like how in the original, when she's holding up the Elvis album and it's a real picture of Elvis on the album, if in this one, when they did that and the album's a cartoon.
That'd be kind of funny. I will say too, I did laugh several times. It's not like, well, I laughed once or twice. No, I laughed a fair amount. I don't know if I howled at any scenes or had to stop myself from laughing, but I'm like, no, there's moments, and a lot of times it's just little facial reactions that they would have. Like, I can't remember where it was. Like, Lilo takes a picture of like Stitch and her. I don't know. I think it's when like, I don't even think we see it, but like when they adopt, they take a picture and Stitch is like really close to the camera and Lilo's in the background just going like that. And it's such a weird, awkward picture that I'm just like, yeah, no, that looks right. That just seems like the picture these two would take. And again, some of the lines and the line deliveries from the side characters and then the main characters, do work. There's a lot of stuff in this that worked totally fine. But and because it's not a fairy tale, I think there's also this idea of, well, we don't have to add a ton of logic to it. We don't have to say, well, now in real life, people, don't have to be kids to woken up. Yeah, we know, Disney. We know, Christ. This one, it's already done in modern times, so they don't have to over-explain everything like that. So it makes it a little easier. But again, that also makes me say, like, it was served to you on a silver platter. Just is one of the few times where I'm like, just do it as it is in the movie. But I also don't mind some of the changes. They got rid of the shark guy who's hunting him down at the end. I thought it kind of made more sense to make the Zach Galifianakis alien kind of the bad guy.
Yeah.
I said in my review too, isn't it weird that they reanimate the scene in the original where Lilo climbs in the dryer? They switch it with a pizza box. Yeah, you can just show kids a dick on this alien's face like it's, it was the Dan Aykroyd movie.
Nothing But Trouble.
Nothing But Trouble.
Yeah,
for like half the film and be like, that's fine. As long as he doesn't climb at a dryer.
I know, right?
You can just show a dick.
I'm like, I want to do an episode on that because I love that movie. Can I show that?
Yeah. I mean, if they're advertising Lilo and Stitch like this, YouTube shows it. Yeah, I guess you can.
What grade would you give it?
Somewhere between a C- and a D+.
Oh, okay.
I'll be an asshole. I'll say D+.
D+.
Only because I really do value the original.
Yeah.
And I think not enough, at least in Hollywood, not enough people are giving credit to how well put together these hand-drawn movies were, and I think they just see it as kid stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, if we have live action step in there, now it's adult, and we'll add even more adult stuff, which just actually dumps it down and makes it, almost more like they're trying to advertise to younger kids. The editing makes me think of like TikTok videos and stuff like that.
How quick it was.
Yeah, but that honestly that makes sense.
Yeah, it didn't. I wasn't sitting there like, there we go.
No, that completely checks out. This is one of the few where I'm like, no, you get a pass with it. That is totally something these characters would do.
Because of the acting, because I did get some genuine laughs out of it. And the acting and the character, they played so well off of each other that I bought the heart that it had. I got caught up in it, especially there towards the end. And by the end of it, I was like, there is enough in here that is working for me. I actually did enjoy myself at it. Like, flaws and all, I did. So I would come away with it, giving it a B. But, I mean, like I said earlier, like, of course, I'm going to watch the original one over this, but it's out there. People are going to go see it. If you do, there are certainly worse ones that
I can certainly see, like I said, I can see people seeing this and just not even, that was fine. Kind of what you said, like, that was pretty fine. Much. Nothing, they'll probably like the original better, but I don't think they're not gonna be insulted like whatever Snow White or anything like that. So yeah, it's just it's not for me.
Let me show you. I'll pop up that.
Oh yeah, the thumbnail.
Let's see.
What the hell? Oh.
There you go.
It looks like you're about to do something else to me. I'm just saying.
That looks like they redid the Sonic movie and made it look worse.
Oh, I don't know. I think they made it look better next to the human teeth on that one look better.
Oh, I
totally see a Sonic movie if that was the Sonic.
Who's chasing us? And it put your glasses back on too.
Oh yeah, that's true. Very kind of them.
I had to scroll past the shot of the plane I got, figure out some way for me and Rob to hang off of that.
Rob can just be the plane.
Yeah.
Just going like, this was garbage.
So now that I have that haunted image on my phone forever. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me back.
You're welcome in my car anytime. So I keep the back. Well, you might have to sleep in Jack's car seat back there.
It's okay. I'll be in the driver's seat and you'll drive in the blue makeup like what we saw in the thumbnail.
Yeah. Who am I kidding? That's my car seat. See it.